Welcome to the Tech Talks Daily Podcast, where you can learn and be inspired by real-world examples of how technology is transforming businesses and reshaping industries in a language everyone can understand. Here is your host, Neil C. Hughes.
Welcome back to the Tech Talks Daily Podcast, and a huge hello to Wayne Koh in Singapore, who tweeted me today saying, just dropping a note to say hi from Singapore, and he listens to the podcast every single day. So before we go any further, a huge thank you, Wayne, for not only tuning into this podcast every day and you investing your time in listening to this podcast, but also for taking the time to connect with me and send a message. I say at the end of every episode, please connect with me personally, send me a message, let's have a conversation together. And I don't just say it, it's not a throwaway line, it's not lip service. I genuinely enjoy connecting with each and every one of you because it's you listening, wherever you are in the world, that makes this show what it is. So for anybody else listening, I urge you to do the same. Send me a quick connection request, but send a little message too, and I'll give you a shout out on the show. Now, this is supposed to be the week that tech companies and journalists will fly out to Las Vegas en masse for the Consumer Electronics Show, which we all know better as CES, where traditionally over 170,000 attendees from all around the world would trek across more than 2.9 million net of square feet of exhibition space in what many will tell you is actually an endurance event. But a show like that now feels like a complete lifetime away, doesn't it? So predictably, this year's CES is completely virtual. And although there are no booths to visit or conversations to have on a show floor, I've still found a way to leverage technology to speak with someone that is virtually attending this year. And today's guest is Thomas Serval, and he's been going to CES every year for the last 17 years. So he's almost got a bit of a void in his life this year, straight after the holiday season. He's not flying all the way to Las Vegas. But today, he's going to be waiting to speak with us in Paris. And he's the executive chairman at CareOS, which is a Baracoda company. And today we're going to be discussing health tech, or should I say daily health tech, CES, his story, and so much more. So buckle up and hold on tight so I can beam your ears all the way to Paris so we can speak with Thomas now. So a massive warm welcome to the show. Can you tell me a little bit more about Baracoda and what is your mission?
So good morning. Baracoda is a company I founded almost 20 years ago. And our focus is to invent and design devices that will help people prevent the most common diseases. We call it daily health tech. So we invent devices that you're going to use every day. Very often it's in the bathroom, and that are going to track and record some of your biometrics information. And with those data that we call indexes, we want to have an impact on your health. And a couple of examples could be, we will help you brush your teeth better, clean your hands better, check your vitals, and check whether you have COVID or not. Those are the little things we like to monitor and we like to act upon.
And I've got to ask, what was it that inspired you to start the company? Because there's got to be a story there. There always is.
Yeah, well, so we started Baracoda, and we are named Baracoda because initially we were pioneers in the Bluetooth technology. But the big change happened to me 7 years ago. As a father, I had a daughter that didn't brush her teeth correctly, and she was always willing to play with my phone. And I wanted to know whether she had brushed her teeth. So I invented this connected toothbrush, which we introduced at CES 2014. That turned brushing your teeth into a game with a smartphone and gave the parents the information about the quality of the brushing. And from that moment, we had a huge success at the first CES. And we created this company called Colibri, which is part of Baracoda, that is now widely spread, and the trend of connected toothbrush comes from our initiatives. And So that's the story behind. So as a father, I was a concerned party to invent the devices that I was missing, and the missing apps that will give me comfort about improving my kids' health.
Love that story. And am I right in saying that daily health tech is a new category that you've created here?
Well, it's been around, but it's only possible since the last few years because of the connectivity improvement and the sensors improvement. So we have been using devices like scale or having this kind of hygiene habits. What is new is the tech. So the category exists, but we recreate or rebranded this category because we believe it's not a one device play. It's a whole ecosystem that needs to be created. And Baracoda's mission is to create this ecosystem and to learn from the new data set we can create with those devices, what we call, and this is really the new continent we want to explore, we call it longitudinal medicine, meaning tracking and looking at people's health every day based on their data on the long run. And that's, to my biggest surprise, was not done in the past because the data set didn't exist. And so we want to provide the tools, software, hardware, and service-wise that will allow this revolution to happen.
And what was it that made you focus on the bathroom? Is that because it's somewhere where we do go every single day?
Well, I used to be with Google for a little while, and Larry Page was always telling that he wanted every of our apps to be like a toothbrush and used every day, twice a day. So if you want to improve people's health, there is little room. There's a little number of places where you have 100% of your user attention, a good quality of data, and provided you provide the right level of privacy and security and trust, that's probably the best place to start with.
And usually at this time of year, we were talking before we started recording the podcast today, straight after the holiday season, you'd be flying all the way to Las Vegas for CES. But of course, the world has changed and it's now virtual this year. So what's your focus at this year's CES and what are you going to be showcasing this year?
So this year is a very special year for us, as well as the first time we are doing it virtual. But we also have been working a lot this year because of the COVID happen of what can we invent that will have a long-term impact on people's health. And so we were talking about the importance of the bathroom and the importance of the bathroom in periods where we are locked down is even becoming somehow your personal hospital. So we have invented this new device called Themis, which, and I'm happy to report, is going to receive a CES Innovation Award Honoree prize for well-being and health. And this new Themis is a small portable mirror, so it has the size of a barber mirror that has a unique set of sensors that scan your face and skin and get unique insight about your symptoms and your conditions. And so that's a new Themis mirror that we are showcasing this year, along with other devices that we have been building upon the years, connected scale, connected toothbrushes, and a connected hub to connect all the devices in the bathroom under our connectivity brand we call CareOS. So the biggest news for this year is really this new mirror that you can put in your bathroom and that will detect whether you have fever, whether you have some weird stuff on your skin, and also act as a coach to help you improve your daily hygiene, brushing your hands, washing your face. So washing your hands, washing your face, brushing your teeth. And sky is the limit because it's based on our CareOS platform, which is an open platform that is secured for the bathroom. And so we will show a couple of applications and products that are compatible with the Themis mirror.
Well, first of all, let me be one of the first to congratulate you on that CES Innovation Award for that mirror. But before we go any further, I've got to highlight here that this isn't your first award either. So for anyone listening that are hearing about Baracoda for the first time, what other products have won awards out there?
So it's been 5 years in a row that we got 1 or 2 awards from the CES itself, and plenty of awards. So Baracoda has been an innovator in this space. As I was mentioning, we really literally created the connected toothbrush space. And so we started with toothbrush, which is now going to be this year the most sold connected device in the bathroom. So we started with 2 innovation awards with toothbrushes that can now be found under the Colgate brand, Hum in the US, and Colgate Connect in the rest of the world. So the first CES award was the first toothbrush with AI. And then we got a toothbrush with for kids that is called Magic or Hum Kids, that you can use to track whether your kids brush their teeth correctly. And those are where there are 2 CES awards. And over the last 3 years, we have been really focusing on the next step of the connected bathroom with connected mirrors. So we started with a large connected mirror, which won CES award in the 2019. It was called Artemis. It was the first of its kind to be able to be a real platform and allow third-party application. And so we have shown a couple of use cases about that. Salon of the future, pharmacy of the future. Last year, we won a CES award with Poseidon mirror, which was the first mirror of its kind that was modular, so it could fit in any bathroom. So we can build it to order to meet architect demands. And this year, last but not least, it's the first mirror that is mass market minded with a price range between $300 to $500. So everybody can now access to our daily health tech technology and bring them into their bathroom and bring the first or the second connected device in the bathroom with a real health benefit.
And just to bring to life what we're talking about here for everyone listening, wherever they are in the world, how can this type of smart mirror affect people's health? Can you give me some specific examples or use cases?
Yeah, well, I start with the one I know the best is toothbrushing. So we've been doing a connected toothbrush for a lot of years. We know most people brush their teeth, but not long enough. And so the mirror can monitor and motivate you, replacing your smartphone in a better way to brush your teeth every day. Reminding you to do it, or check if you have missed any spots inside your mouth. So the mirror is a typical example of this daily hygiene example, but the mirror, and being easy and portable, is going to be for the first time a digital screen in the bathroom beyond your smartphone. And so everything that is based on daily routine can be better monitored or coached doing so. So the other example is making sure you are putting the right cream on your face. I learned talking with our partners who are like big brands in the beauty industry that 50% of the efficiency of a skin cream, depends on the way you apply it to your face. And since most creams are not sold with how-to guides, actually people are not applying them well, or they don't even know whether it works. This very mirror will teach you how to put the cream right, and also will check whether after 1 day, 5 days, 10 days, the benefits claims by the cream has a real effect on you. And this is one of the first of its kind. The time-lapse ability of this fixed mirror opens this new area. I have a long list, so you cut me when you find I'm becoming boring. But another example about your health is this mirror has 2 unique sensors that has never been seen into a mass market mirror. One is UV lighting, and the other one is infrared lighting. So we have now a set of sensors that are looking at the full spectrum of light. UV allowing you to monitor very closely your skin condition, looking at sebum or looking at the quality of the pores of the skin. RGB, so the typical camera with high resolution, allows you to deep dive and look whether you have a dark spot or whether you have a mole that looks a little weird and whose shape have changed. And we use a lot of AI to do that. And the infrared lights is allowing us to monitor your temperature. And as you know, by looking at your temperature, we are also able to at least warn you that you might have early symptom of COVID or the flu, or if you are not going well. That's what the hardware allows you to do with incredible lighting. And the same mirror runs as a platform, and we have implemented unique technology, proprietary technology on the software side or with partners. One of them I like to mention is allowing us to check your heartbeat. So imagine you have a device that checks your heartbeat and your skin condition and your temperature. It's a really amazing tool to help you in your daily check without the need to go to a doctor or without the need to have a chance to get sick because there is no worse place in those times to get sick than to go to a hospital or to go to a public place where a lot of sick people are around.
And I was just going to ask for any techies listening, what are the behind the scenes technologies that make it all possible? But it sounds like it's those two sensors, right? Yeah,
well, there's a lot of technology which is coming, which is the benefit of 10 years experience in this very vertical. So out of the Themis mirror, we built this on an operating system we call CareOS, which is an open source based operating system to which we have implemented 3 unique features. One is security, so there is no data that goes outside of your bathroom without your prior consent and double consent. For the European listener, it's called GDPR compliance, but there is a HIPAA ones in the US, and there is also Chinese regulation that you don't want to have any data from your bathroom that leaks outside. The second part of the technology on the software side is a unique interaction. In the bathroom, you won't press like if you are in front of your phone or type if you are in front of your PC. So you need to have an interface that is voice-driven or intent-driven or gesture-driven with a lot of touchless interaction and minimize the number of interactions. So it's a new category of interaction. So security, interface, and the last one is interoperability. We have implemented a protocol that lets third-party device work together. One of the main pain points of connected object in a bathroom is that everybody asks you to bring your phone and everybody asks you to download a new app. So imagine you want to do your daily routine, which is cleaning your face, brushing your teeth, checking your weight, etc. You will have 3 or 4 apps. Have to bring your phone, which doesn't like the wet environment. Maybe you might have even privacy concerns. So the CareOS operating system solve all those things. So that's on the software side. And this platform is open to third parties, and we have a lot of partners on that. On the hardware part, for your big friends and listeners, we are bringing 3 unique sensors. So an infrared sensor, a UV lightning sensor, and a high-resolution camera, as well as, and it's critical in terms of AI, excellent lighting to take unique movies, 4K movies or pictures of your face, so that the diagnosis you can put on those images and the discovery you can make with those images can be as deep as possible. We also are bringing in this device a very unique design that make it bathroom friendly in terms of waterproofing, of the way you bring power, and a way also to keep it fixed inside the bathroom. I'm happy to go deeper if it's necessary. But it's a unique piece of hardware, and we are very excited about that because it opened really a new era, not only in terms of usage as of today, but in terms of new application that becomes possible with such a device.
And for many people listening, they will have an increasing number of smart home devices. I'm not sure about bathroom, but straight away, smart scale springs to mind. But does it connect with other types of bathroom devices?
Absolutely. I think that was one of the CareOS key principle. This is the third year in a row that we have a CES award. And the reason is because every year we are able to bring new partners in on board for which the CareOS technology to allow interoperability in device in the bathroom provide a solution to something that has not been solved. People are connecting devices in the home. The bathroom has some specifics, especially in terms of privacy, that make it super sensitive to data privacy. And we are the only solution that is provided that is not proprietary on the market for the different providers. So a couple of examples of partners and an example of connected device. We have a couple of devices like CardioCom that check your heartbeats for people who have already a medical condition. We are compatible with the most common scales on the market. So one of the partner we have is a company called Terrayon, who is making a lot of scale, our Tefal body partner. We are big makers of scales that connects with our platform. We also have so just on a very interesting breakthrough device that also was developed by Baracoda Labs. It's called Balance. It had a prize last year when we created the concept called Mateo. So it's a smart bath mat that check your weight and your posture. And so instead of having to go on a scale, you no longer have to go on a scale. You just walk in your bathroom the same way, and the smart bath mat will check your weight and check whether you're balanced, so your posture has a problem or not. This device is also compatible natively with the CareOS platform and the Themis mirror. A couple of other things that you might like in terms of smart device. Obviously, our toothbrushes, the Colgate toothbrushes, connected Colgate toothbrushes, are compatible with CareOS and the smart mirror. So you can check the way you brush your teeth. Another one that, and so we mix big companies solution with small startups solution. We are very interested in use cases for the elderly. And typically we're working with major brand in the bathroom on how do we create a super simple, seamless experience for 65 senior people that are completely in great shape, but will over the times need a little more assistance. And so we are working on solution like that. A couple of other examples of connected devices that are working in the bathroom. We can connect the bathroom to connected shower. So from your mirror, you can voice order to start your shower at the right temperature or check your water consumption. So really, the mirror serve as a control center of the devices that don't have the same level of interaction and display capability inside the bathroom. And sky is the limit. We have a long list of partners that you can find on our website.
And I'm curious, as a company that has won several awards at CES for innovation, and there is a lot of talk around innovation, how to innovate at the moment, a lot of myths and misconceptions around it as well. But what is the secret, and how are you continually driving innovation at Baracoda?
So it's an excellent question. I don't want to send you a generic answer, but I will tell you how I do it. And it's very French, so I don't know if it's going to be super replicated. But the way we see it is we start by having a vision of the world. And so our intuition is daily health tech and measuring your index is going to be the future. There is no escape about the fact that you will need a lot more data, and you need to have prevention as a first pillar of any public healthcare and private healthcare system. So really, it's a long-term trend that we envision. The second thing is what are the biggest pain points that has the biggest impact? So if you look at toothbrushing, for instance, 80% of the reason why people in emerging markets are missing school is due to teeth problems. And in the US only, it's a cost for society of $120 billion. So oral care being a very, a category where usually care is the only way and prevention is super inefficient. We saw a field of exploration when we see that people, when you have a cavity, there is nothing you can do. You just have to cure the cavity. So we look at those big health problems, health bucket, that can be prevented easily. And I'm giving you another example on which we are working very hard right now, and it's very related to the COVID system. If every person in the world would wash their hands 7 times a day, there will be 90% or less disease in the world. So, which means you can completely solve global health problem by giving to every human being the habits of washing their hands 7 times a day. And then this is actually the only efficient cure we know out against COVID right now. So those are the kind of big problems that we like to tackle. And so once we have the big problem we want to tackle, we look at which technology will allow us to solve that. And so we iterate, whether it's a software solution, whether you use a phone, which is also a mass market distribution, whether we need to invent specific device. So we look at the big problem first, and then on the best strategy. So our approach is vision of the world is prevention. What are the biggest bucket? So let's take skin cancer, for instance, which can be prevented very easily by having a picture of you every day. How can we measure it? So that once we get the right problems, we want to measure. And so one of the model in the Baracoda way of doing things is creating new indexes, and we call an index a new measurement about something that has an impact on your health. I'm giving you an example we cracked before we addressed the connected toothbrush problem. People were measuring the quality of their brushing by the time they were brushing. So the index that was commonly used was time, 2 minutes twice a day. And then if you look at it very seriously, you measure the 2 minutes because you have no better way to measure whether you go everywhere in your mouth, because it doesn't matter whether it's 2 minutes or 5 minutes. What does matter is that you push a brush in every place in your mouth. And so the right index we call coverage, time versus coverage, is what needed to be measured. So we invented the sensors and the technology that was allowing us to measure this new index. So that's step 2 of Baracoda innovation process. Once we have this index set up, the question is, can we act on it? So if I know that now every user or every person have a perception of brushing that is 1 minute and 30 seconds, that's what we polled. And in reality, they are doing 30 seconds. They believe they cover, so they have a bias about brushing time. And the second bias was, I brush almost everywhere, like 80% of my mouth is, and the real data is 60%. So when we confront people with those data, and that's a step 1 of can we act upon it, then we test and learn new strategy that will have an impact on those metrics. So we tried a lot of things to have a huge impact. So we tried whether we turning it into games works, and it does work for kids, but it doesn't really work for adults. Giving the data works. Yes, it works somehow, but it will even work better with rewards. So we have built a whole platform and a whole technology and process to create, look at the big problem, create the index, measure the index, see what can have an impact, and iterate until we see a real impact on the index with our devices and tools.
Before we started recording today, you were telling me you'd been to CES for the last 17 years, so it feels a little bit different this year. Obviously, rather than having a conversation on the show floor like we normally would, you're in Paris, I'm here in the UK, and we're doing the whole thing virtually. But I'm curious, now we are in this very different world, what do you see the future of the bathroom looking like, and what role do you see you guys playing in that?
So we have great ambitions. Baracoda used to be somehow a collection of startups that started every year with a new invention, etc. And during the COVID situation, we believe it was time to lead the category because of our impact in the oral care business. We had the chance of spearheading innovation in the space of the connected bathroom. So Baracoda's ambition is to deploy its CareOS operating system in as many devices as possible, have as many use cases as possible, work with as many public institutions, device maker, solution providers, because at the moment, there is no neutral players apart from us. Because if you are a big brand, obviously, imagine I call like a big brand. They want to create proprietary solutions. And so that's a huge bias about super powerful brands. But a bathroom has, every year in a bathroom, there are above $400 billion of goods that are consumed and nobody knows about it. And so no player in the bathroom has more than 2 or 3% market share of their product being used. So it's a super fragmented market. So our real ambition in terms of technology and looking forward is, from a technology standpoint, to increase the adoption of our mirrors and our CareOS technology so that the bathroom will allow new prevention strategy to be implemented. That's really where we want to go. And instead of doing it piece by piece, now we want to go as a system and to grow as quickly as possible, working with big partners. So the future of the bathroom, we see it connected. We see it's super secure and private, and that's the biggest challenge. Our ambition really is to lead by innovation this category. We are a B2B2C company, meaning most of our invention we license to big brands that have the market power to distribute it at scale. And that's what we do with the toothbrush, but we are also going to announce that we are doing it in other product categories. And so our real goal going to CES, virtual or not, is to meet the big brands that lack the innovation pace that a startup could have and find and strike the right deal so that our technology can be in as many bathrooms as possible, as quickly as possible.
And for anyone listening that would like to find out more information about any of the products that we've discussed today, what's the best way of finding you guys online and contacting your team if they've got any questions?
So the best way to find us online is on the website, www.baracoda.com. You will find all the product categories and all the things we are doing. And I was a little shocked because we are doing quite a lot right now in this prevention in healthcare. And also go on the CES website and look at Baracoda, where you will find our Themis mirror powered by CareOS that is out there in display with a nice demo that will allow people to show it before it's available to a wider public.
Well, I'll add the links to the blog post that will accompany this podcast just so people can find you nice and easily. But a big congratulations on winning yet another CES Innovation Award. Maybe next year we can have a chat on the show floor in person. But more than anything, just a big thank you for taking the time to speak with me today.
Thank you very much. It was a real pleasure.
Thomas is another one of those guys I could just chat with for hours. It is an absolute joy to be around. And I think that is because his infectious enthusiasm for technology and innovation just really shines through. And every day on this podcast, we explore areas you don't normally associate with technology. So it was great to hear more about the future of the bathroom or the smart bathroom. Although I've got to say, in January, a non-smart mirror is scary enough for me after too much food, drink and bad TV. And when we're just working from home all the time, I'll let you have a little peek behind the curtain. And often I am guilty of walking around the house in a pair of jogging bottoms, a T-shirt, and sometimes bed hair. And every now and again, I will walk past the mirror and scare the life out of myself. As you all know by now, I have been accused in the past of having a form of musical Tourette's where I'll hear a keyword and suddenly burst into song. And I cannot tell you how difficult it was for me not to launch into Baracoda by heart when hearing about Thomas and Baracoda. Slightly different word, but I did manage to rein myself in. If there is any Heart fans out there, apologies for giving you that earworm. But seriously, I absolutely love what they're doing here. And it's great to see that the spirit of CES lives on, and also great to speak with Thomas and hear his experiences on winning so many innovation awards at CES. And hopefully I will get to meet him in person one day. But how are your New Year's resolutions going? And what daily health tech solutions are you using or are you interested in using? I want to hear them all. So please remember, email me, techblogwriter@outlook.com, tweet me at Neil C. Hughes, LinkedIn, Instagram at Neil C. Hughes too. My website is techblogwriter.co.uk. And once again, a big thank you to Wayne for connecting with me on Twitter and for sending me a message. But all this talk of daily health tech making me want to go for a little run. I say run because I haven't run for a long time. I think it's going to be more reverting back to the couch potato to 5K app. But hey, we got to start somewhere, right? Especially if I have any hope of shifting these COVID kilos. But enough from me. So a big thank you for tuning in and listening. I hope you'll join me again tomorrow. But until next time, don't be a stranger.
Thank you for listening to the Tech Talks Daily Podcast with Neil C. Hughes. Remember, technology works best when it brings people together.